Hi, everyone. Welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and today I'm going to talk about the Transformers Rise of the Beasts movie. I just saw it. Hannah, myself, Tom, and Lauren from the Arbitrary Hero crew. We got invited to an advanced screening in Cincinnati. It was really fun. In addition, we got like 25 seats we got to give out to our Discord members, which is really cool. So a bunch of us got together and watched the movie. Overall, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the movie. I think this might be my second favorite live action Transformers movie. It's still Bumblebee for me. And then I'm not sure between Rise of the Beasts and the 2007 Transformers movie. I feel like they sit about in the same area. I think maybe Rise of the Beasts might edge it out just a little bit. And then the rest of the Bayverse stuff I didn't care very much about. But I guess first thing is I want to establish kind of what I like about Transformers to help give context for my thoughts here. This is not a full review, and this is not going to have major spoilers in it. This is just talking about kind of my initial feelings. The things I like about Transformers movies and stories and all that stuff. I like the Transformers as characters. I like when they get screen time and they get to interact and we get to see their thoughts and feelings and motivations and all the action that comes from those motivations. That's a big important thing to me. I like their design, the visual design of the Transformers. I like it when I can easily tell what's going on screen. That's like a really important thing to me, and a big reason I fell off on the Bayverse movies compared to like the cartoons and other media that I still watched. And then I think the third big thing is that for me, I like a sense of scale in my Transformers. I want them to feel like big, heavy, lumbering, powerful robots. I don't like it when the CGI makes them too like light and floaty, that sort of thing. I want them to feel big and heavy and durable with big, like powerful weapons and things like that. So in regards to those three things, I think the movie delivered in general pretty well. Let me start off by, since I want to talk about the Transformers themselves, let's start with the Transformers. I've got a list over here that I'm going to go reference for my notes. The first one, the Transformer with the most screen time, I think is going to be Mirage. It's a toss-up between Mirage and Optimus Prime. Pete Davidson, I thought, did a great job as this version of Mirage. He's funny. Not all of his jokes landed for me, but none of them were like groan-worthy. It was all like pretty lighthearted and funny, and he's playing a character who is like bored with his mission and excited for some action, and he does that part really well. I liked Mirage a lot, and I liked Mirage and Noah's relationship. The movie does get pretty cheesy and corny. The dialogue is definitely a weak point. Some of the lines are like, you can tell the actors are doing their best, but the way the lines are written, there were a couple moments when the theater was laughing and it wasn't supposed to be laughing. It was clearly a like, this is an emotional moment. And some of those lines like just were not great. So the theater laughed. But Mirage's lines were like, I mean, he's a funny character. So he did a good job in that role. And his and Noah's relationship was nice. I appreciated that interaction a lot. Second, Transformer RC. We've seen RC in the posters. She does not get as much screen time as I would have liked. I would have liked more RC. Same way that Mirage and Noah got their relationship built in the movie, I would have liked RC and Elena. I felt like that was implied that was going somewhere, but didn't end up really going anywhere. And because of that, RC faded into the background after she was like got her initial scenes, which was a little disappointing. Bumblebee, no spoilers, but I was fine with Bumblebee. He was fine in the movie. You know, it was fine. I was fine with it. Wish they stuck to it, but you know, whatever. Optimus Prime. This version of Optimus Prime was interesting to me. It's supposed to be a younger Optimus Prime. It's like 7 years after the Bumblebee movie. So Optimus Prime has been on Earth for 7 years. We don't know what he's been up to in that time. But he's like that. There's that jaded, cynical, distrusting Optimus Prime from the later Bayverse franchise, and it felt like that snuck into this movie, and I don't know why. This Optimus Prime, I think, didn't have a good reason to be as mistrusting and kind of like go it alone as he was, it felt like parts of the Bayverse scripts and philosophy bleeding into the Bumblebee movie franchise's like reboot, and that was unfortunate to me. That's I think my biggest complaint about Optimus Prime, and also his plan at the end didn't make sense given what they had said earlier. I'll talk about it in the spoiler, like the actual review part. Wheeljack was great. Wheeljack was funny. His introduction was great. He's kind of a cute character. He was a delight to have on screen. I wish we had more of them. I know people don't like that he's called Wheeljack, but I was fine with it. I would have even loved if he had just been a totally new character. I'm probably going to put him in my collection as a totally new character. I'm going to buy me a Wheeljack because of how much I enjoyed this character on screen. Stratosphere. This is like the closest thing to spoilers, but people know that Stratosphere is in the movie. He doesn't do much, so no spoilers there. But he's in the movie, but he doesn't do much. That's it for the Autobots. They kept the Autobot cast size small. And I think if it had just been Autobots, it would have been a great movie where all the Autobot characters, there was, what, 5 of them? 6 of them. If it was just those 6 Autobots and every one of them got more time on screen to do more stuff and interact more, it would have been a better movie. But it felt like they took the sequel to the Bumblebee movie and mashed it into a Beast Wars movie and then mashed that into a Unicron movie. So it was like 3 movies in one that were all kind of competing for screen time. But the individual pieces I thought worked well. So let's go to the Maximals. The Maximals, the first one on screen is Ape Link. Again, there's been the TV spot out, so it's not really a spoiler. He's fine for what he does in the movie. He's there for a purpose in the story. He does it. I would have liked a little more interaction between Ape Link and Scourge because it would have built up a more emotionally resonant confrontation between Scourge and Optimus Primal. That would have been kind of a nice setup and payoff. Optimus Primal was really great. I really liked Optimus Primal on screen. This version of Optimus Primal beats out like the Netflix versions. This version of Optimus Primal is my second favorite version of Optimus Primal besides the Beast Wars version. And they did a really good job interpreting his character, his care for life and nature. His Optimus Primal's interactions with humans were wonderful. They were great. I really, really liked Optimus Primal in the movie. Airazor was another delight. She got a surprising amount of screen time. I wasn't expecting that because they never showed her transform in the trailers or posters or anything like that. So I thought this was going to be a background character that's just like, oh, she's like another robot they get to have as the Maximals. But no, she had a lot to say. She had a lot to do. Airazor was great. Just great. That brings us to Cheetor and Rhinox. These were the background Maximal characters, and that was disappointing. Both Cheetor and Rhinox, they got like maybe 1 or 2 lines each, not a lot, but they were there, and they had cool action stuff to do, but their characters didn't have much going on, and that was unfortunate. Again, it's because we didn't get an Autobot movie and then a Maximal movie. We got both in one, that each group felt like they got the short end of the stick because they had to share screen time with the other group instead of getting to build up their characterization individually and then coming together. That was a little disappointing. But then we have the bad guys. And let's start off with Daddy Scourge. Scourge was the standout to me. Great villain, a lot of good screen presence, very threatening. The things that he did mattered. They had impact on the story long term, not just short term, but long term. He made his presence known, and he was dangerous. Yeah, he was great. I'm keeping this toy because of how much I like Scourge in the movie. Peter Dinklage killed it. It was great. It was wonderful. And then he had 2 minions. He had Battletrap and Nightbird. Again, they didn't do much. I mean, they had cool action stuff they did, and that was a lot of fun to watch. But they didn't say much. They didn't have much to do other than just beat up Autobots, which for this movie, served its purpose. That's fine. There were all sorts of little minions. I think there were like 2 models of minions, a human-sized 2-handed one, and then a like small transformer-sized 4-handed one. And they were just like, they were pure Bayverse nonsense robots. They were just slavering monsters. They had nothing to going on other than just, tearing stuff up. But yeah, the Scourge and his like core team, Battletrap and Nightbird, they were a solid team with Scourge getting the spotlight because I think he deserved it with Peter Dinklage's performance. That was great. Then finally, Unicron was the last Transformer. I think the first Transformer we saw in the movie, but the last one I want to talk about. They're clearly setting things up for a larger arc of Unicron threatening Earth. I think the problem in this movie was that he got a little too close to Earth already in this movie. I would have liked if they wanted to set up Unicron, kind of build him up the way Marvel built up Thanos, have Unicron further in the background starting out and slowly bring him to the front as the heroes go through the minions. Maybe like they could have done a direct sequel to Bumblebee with the Autobots, where it's the Decepticons here because they are fleeing. More Decepticons are here because they are fleeing from a planet that got destroyed. And we don't know why, but it's hinted that it's Unicron. And then we get the Maximals, and now the Maximals' second movie, the Maximals have to fight off Scourge, who is here to do things for Unicron. And then we get a third movie that's like, okay, now Unicron is trying to come, that sort of thing. Just giving everything a little more time to breathe and be impactful would have been nice. But in terms of like stuff that I liked in general, Noah and Elena were both great. They might be my favorite human cast members. Haley was great in Bumblebee. Those 3 are definitely my top 3 human cast members. And they kept the human cast small. It was really just Noah and Elena and then Noah's little brother for a little bit. But the fact that the human cast was small meant we got more in personal interactions between Noah and the Transformers and Noah and Elena, and more Transformers interactions, which is what we're really there for. Elena could have done with some more screen time. I liked that both of them, they were like smart characters. They thought through problems. They used skills that they had to do things. Whereas like Shia LaBeouf's character, Sam, I felt like things happened to Sam. Sam didn't really do a whole lot besides just scream and yell and that sort of stuff. Whereas Noah and Elena contributed to the story, which I really appreciated. The story itself makes sense. I always go back to the sequel. What is it? The Forgotten. That's not right. So the first one was Transformers. The second one was something the Fallen, that's it. Or Rise of the Fallen or whatever it's called. That one was a really dumb movie where they went to places for no real reason and it was all just a series of nonsensical events. In this movie, they were doing things for a purpose. They had goals that they were trying to achieve, and then they had like contingency plans when things went awry. So I liked that a lot. Again, it was overall a fun movie. It was 3 movies in one instead of splitting them out and letting each movie be like, it didn't need to be 2 hours. It could have been 3 90-minute movies that each told a different story, and we got more time with the Transformers. And that's what I really want. The action was good. I mentioned the 3 things I like about Transformers. I talked about the Transformers, the action, the weight, the heft of the robots. It felt there when Optimus Prime and Scourge are fighting. They felt impactful. It wasn't like Dark of the Moon where the Transformers felt like they didn't weigh anything. They felt too light. Here, everything was heavy and powerful and impactful, and I liked that a lot. There was something that happened at the end of the movie that kind of took me out of it. I'll talk about it in the full review. But again, overall, it was worth seeing. Would I highly recommend it? Yeah, if you're a Transformers fan, go see this movie. If you want someone to like get into Transformers and they want to watch live action movies, have them go watch Bumblebee, then or maybe watch the 2007 Transformers movie, Bumblebee, and then this movie, and they don't need to worry about the others, and it'll be fine, and it's good. I'll say I'm curious to see the next one, which is something that I hadn't been curious about since before the Bumblebee movie. So this is 2 movies in a row that Transformers has done that I liked, and I'm excited to see the next one. And so, that gets a thumbs up. If I'm damning with faint praise, maybe I am. There's certain, again, the dialogue just was not great. The action scenes, I like that the camera let it lingered on the action. It let us focus and enjoy what was happening on screen. But there wasn't anything in the action that really wowed me the way in the Bumblebee movie when Blitzwing is transforming for the first time and flying in at Bumblebee. That was really cool. I didn't get a moment like that. I also didn't get a moment where when Bumblebee is fighting Shatter and Dropkick with the boat anchor stuff. I didn't get those moments, but the action was still fun and serviceable, and you got fun little moments for the characters that you liked on screen. So overall, I give it a thumbs up. It was good. It's coming out this Friday, so get a chance to if you get a chance to see it, go see it. I'll probably see it a second time in theaters. Maybe not this weekend, but later on. Yeah, it was good. All right, that's it. Bye, everybody.